Good morning, football fans. My name is Noah. This is a brand new show called The Process, and today we are going to be asking the question, who is going to be the Chicago Bears quarterback in 2021? Let's dive right in. The Chicago Bears fell to 5-2 last night after losing to the LA Rams with Nick Foles as the quarterback at the helm as of now. Now, at the beginning of the season, we saw Mitch Trubisky start the season, and we really thought that we would probably see Nick Foles somewhere along the season, and as it turns out, Mitch Trubisky only lasted until the third game where Nick Foles came in to relieve him of his duties, and that has been a permanent change since then. But today I want to talk about what could the Bears be potentially looking at for the 2021 season and on? I think we all could agree that Nick Foles is not the long-term solution for the Chicago Bears. Maybe he has another great run this year, but we've seen in his history that he can do some incredible things, but he is not a long-term solution. That is why he's been on several different teams in the last several years. If he was a long-term solution, he would have landed with the Eagles a long time ago. He would have landed with the Rams. He would have landed with the Eagles again. He would have landed with the Bears. He would have landed with the Jaguars. He's not the long-term solution, so who is? And I think there's going to be some interesting things that happen in the 2021 offseason that if the Bears can pull it off, they might be able to capitalize on one of the greatest free agency steals in NFL history. Looking at the list of free agent quarterbacks for next year, not many are super enticing. Nick Foles, I think, has an option in his contract to be a free agent next year if he plays really well and if he starts a majority of the snaps, which it looks like he's going to do. The Bears are 5-2. Statistically, the Bears sit at the top of the NFC along with the other teams like the Rams, the Seahawks, the Bucks, and the Packers. So this 2021 free agency quarterback, and I'm focusing on free agency today because I don't think the Bears are going to have a shot at Trevor Lawrence. There's going to be some other quarterbacks that come out of this draft, but we all know that Trevor Lawrence is the coveted quarterback. Most draft analysts would say that Trevor Lawrence is the most highly regarded and sought after quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck. So let's take a look at these potential fits for the Chicago Bears, realizing that they have a lot of expiring contracts coming up from a few years ago when they made a huge free agency push with the draft of Mitch Trubisky. So, to start, Mitch Trubisky is a free agent. They didn't pick up his fifth-year option, and I would imagine they're not going to keep him. If I go down the list, I see Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett, Andy Dalton, A.J. McCarron, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tyrod Taylor, Colt McCoy, Nathan Peterman, RG3. And these quarterbacks, I think some of them have maybe a year or two of starting potential, but otherwise, I don't know if any of these are really starting caliber, if any of these guys are really starting caliber quarterbacks in the NFL. They're good backups, they're solid backups, but I don't know if they either don't have much time left in their career like Phillip Rivers, or they're just not starters. Tyrod Taylor, Ryan Fitzpatrick, maybe. I don't know how much time he's got left. I don't know if they have much potential as a long-term fixture and solution in the Chicago Bears offense. I think a couple of guys to keep an eye on are quarterbacks Cam Newton, who signed a one-year deal with the Patriots, and Nick Mullins, who is a backup quarterback on the 49ers roster. Both of these guys, especially Cam, I think could really help this Bears team. I think Nate would be more of an interim placement guy, but I think he has potential to grow and develop, and I think he could be possibly a starting quarterback in the NFL, especially with that really, really solid Bears defense. We've seen him lead the 49ers to multiple victories because the 49ers have a really, really solid defense. I think the Bears could do a similar, use that similar model. I also think Kyle Allen and Jameis Winston are guys to consider here for this job. I don't think that Kyle Allen will move very far from Ron Rivera and the Washington football team. I think they'll stay together because I think Ron Rivera really likes Kyle Allen. Very clearly demonstrated by his reluctancy to take him out last year with the Carolina Panthers and now him starting over Dwayne Haskins in Washington. Which leads me to my last and I think most interesting thought, because I didn't mention one, really important free agent quarterback, and that is Dak Prescott. Coming off a horrific ankle injury, it's going to be a long recovery. He never signed a long-term deal with the Dallas Cowboys. And I know Jerry Jones has said that Dak is our guy, but if he really was their guy, he would have signed him. Right? So, what if the Chicago Bears make a huge push, maybe sign or trade for a couple wide receivers? Who knows what Antonio Brown's going to do, but he's signed to a one-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who knows what the future is for Julio Jones? I don't know if he wants to be a part of a rebuild this late in his career. And not to mention, there's a lot of good rookie wide receivers coming out in the draft. The Chicago Bears seem like they could become quick front runners to try and sign Dak Prescott. Now, I'm not saying that I want Dak Prescott to go to the Chicago Bears. I think Dallas makes a lot of sense. I love the weapons that they've put around him. I love the combination of him and Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup and Ezekiel Elliott and their tight end room and their offensive line. But I think the Chicago Bears will make a push for Dak Prescott, because if they can sign him, they've got the rest of the team just about. If they can sign him, they've got what the Dallas Cowboys have never offered Dak Prescott, and that is a world-class championship-level defense. With Matt Nagy, who's coming from that Andy Reid, Kansas City offensive background, you put him and Dak Prescott in a room and you get some pieces around them, whether it's Antonio Brown or signing Allen Robinson again or bringing back Tariq Cohen from injury. This Chicago Bears team could be really, really stellar with a quarterback like Dak Prescott. I also think you could see the Chicago Bears go after one of these 2018 quarterbacks that have not played super well with their original team. I think of Josh Rosen, who's on the practice squad of the Bucs. I think of Sam Darnold, who's 0-7 with the Jets. And the Jets look poised to have that first-round pick. And with that first-round pick, I would imagine they select Trevor Lawrence. All that to say, it would be a dream scenario for the Bears if they could land Dak Prescott. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. But it's an interesting conversation nonetheless. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I would love to have a good football conversation with you. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. And make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell to stay up to date with all of the latest content from this channel, The Process, with me, your host, Noah. I'm signing off for today. As always, keep watching football, and thanks for watching today.